Random House Audio Roads presents A Ranger Born, a memoir of combat and valor from Korea to Vietnam, by Colonel Robert W. Black. Read for you by Charles Stransky. Prologue. It was a time of intensity, a grim night game where the stakes were life and death. We spent hours in patient movement under cover of a light wind and a thick cloak of darkness, first walking, holding on to the cartridge belt of the man to our front, and then crawling on our stomachs to quietly penetrate the Chinese positions. We were now beyond their forward line, but there would be another Chinese line of fortifications, and another beyond that. A rifle stock knocking against a stone, a loose sleeve catching on a bush, or water sloshing in a half-filled canteen could betray our presence. I couldn't see the American to the front of me or the one to my rear, but we were tied together by training and tradition, bonded in a unique brotherhood of warriors. The still of the night was broken by a sharp cry in an Oriental tongue. We froze in position. Overhead came the pop of a flare, then the hissing sound as it came to earth. I saw the outline of a Chinese bunker to my right. The flare burned out, and the Chinese soldiers began talking in a conversational tone. We touched each other in signal and crawled silently onward. Ours was a mission of stealth, to penetrate enemy lines and lay mines along the trails used by his supply columns. Months of selectivity and arduous training had molded our band of American paratroopers into masters of night warfare. The Chinese were unaware of our presence that night. Soon, though, enemy soldiers who thought they were secure would die. That's the calling card of the American Airborne Ranger. A Ranger Young. All things have a beginning. Mine was the 15th of June, 1929, soon after the United States fell into that cataclysmic period of despair known as the Great Depression. I was the descendant of a long line of citizen warriors. In the Revolutionary War, my ancestors fought the British and paid the price of freedom. One died in an infamous British prison called the Sugar House. Another was murdered by Loyalists when he came home from the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. In the Civil War, my great-grandfathers fought each other, the one from the north serving from Bull Run to Antietam. He was an engineer, and while under fire laid a pontoon bridge across the Rappahannock River during the Battle of Fredericksburg. The one from the south was an infantryman, and fought at the battles of the Wilderness and Cold Harbor. Captured in 1865, he ended his military career as a prisoner of war. An uncle sailed around the world with Teddy Roosevelt's Great White Fleet, and my father served in the Navy in World War I and survived an attack on his ship by a German submarine. His ship, the USS Pocahontas, was home-ported in New York, where he met my mother. My mother was named Emma. She was my rock, and I adored her. Brooklyn-born and raised in poverty, she was an angel who could curse like a trooper. Until age 8, I thought my name was "Ya Goddamn Dope," but it was always followed by hugs and kisses. I never heard my father say anything stronger than cripes, but he was a hard and dangerous man. He was a crack shot, who as a boy kept fresh-killed meat on the family table. Sober, hard-working, and determined, my father had come far on a third-grade education and correspondence courses. His name was Frank Black. As the chief engineer of C.H. Maslin's rug mill in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, he felt mathematics was the only study worth pursuing. After dinner, his standard direction was, "Get your nose in a book," meaning a thick book of fractions and equations. I hated math and became determined to live my life without it. Fortunately, my mother taught me to love other books. I would sneak away to enjoy Dumas and Sir Walter Scott. I doted on the gunfire and flashing swords of Raphael Sabatini's Captain Blood and Scaramouche. In 1932, when there were 14 men lined up for every job and many farms were for sale, my father used his grand salary of $50 a week to buy a 146-acre farm between the two historic Pennsylvania towns of Carlisle and Gettysburg. We lived in a big stone house that dated from the early 1800s. I grew up in a wonderful outdoor life of woods, streams, and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?